Je vais commencer et puis on va laisser les derniers arrivants se connecter au fur et à mesure. Bonjour à tous, bienvenue à ce webinaire francophone annuel du Wetland Link International. Je suis Audrey Cadou, je suis responsable de médiation scientifique à la Maison du Lac de Grandlieu en France. Notre centre a été récompensé par le prix du Wetland Star Award l'année dernière. Donc, nous sommes un centre non loin de la côte atlantique, situé sur la voie de migration est-atlantique des oiseaux migrateurs. Nous accueillons différents types de publics, aussi bien scolaires que grand public et professionnels. Par professionnels, j'entends élus et entreprises, les collectivités aussi. Notre centre est dédié au lac de Grandlieu, un des plus grands lacs de plaine de France en hiver, avec 6 300 hectares. Nous sommes un centre qui accueille à peu près 14 000 à 15 000 visiteurs par an, et dont 3 000 scolaires. Et nous sensibilisons évidemment à la préservation des milieux humides. Mais assez parlé de moi. Aujourd'hui, je vais vous présenter d'autres lauréats de ce prix Wetland Star Award, 4 autres notamment. Nous avons tous été récompensés par notre travail inclusif et de qualité pour inciter les gens à préserver les zones humides. J'espère que nous allons vous donner quelques idées et vous encourager à participer à ce prix pour la prochaine édition, car oui, il y aura une prochaine édition, une remise des Wetland Center Star Awards qui se prépare. Le WLI est en train d'organiser tout ça. Vous en saurez plus à la fin de ce webinaire. Donc, il y a près d'un an, mon collègue était à Genève pour la COP14, pour la Convention sur les zones humides, et avec quelques représentants également nationaux qui étaient également présents, dont le responsable du Wetland Link International, Chris Rostron, qui a remis 23 prix pour 23 centres dédiés aux milieux humides. Donc aujourd'hui, ce que nous aimerions, c'est vous présenter certains de ces lauréats pour vous donner envie également de participer. Vous allez découvrir toute la bonne humeur et les bonnes ondes qui sont propagées dans ces projets, et surtout toutes les idées qui ont été mises en place dans ces centres pour valoriser les zones humides. Alors nous allons commencer par rencontrer les enseignants et les élèves qui créent et étudient une zone humide au sein même de dans l'enceinte de leur établissement scolaire en Colombie, la zone humide de Danapure, qui se trouve à l'intérieur du Liceo Taller San Miguel. Je vous laisse regarder.
It was a very, very pleasant surprise to receive the Star Wetland Center Award. Receiving this award means motivation for us as an institution to continue working with our students to protect the environment and to work in education. It motivates us and tells us that it's worth it to have these everyday efforts with our students and that they are recognized and valued. Every day, every time that they come to this beautiful place, they learned about it and they recognize its value in their lives and for our planet.
Hola, les quiero compartir una frase de la escritora Anna Kulik-Lachner. Los humedales son oasis en el desierto, milagros terracuáticos, tangibles o intangibles, grandes o pequeños, creíbles o increíbles, sedienta de humedades.
Danapure es un lugar feliz y así lo sentimos nosotros, porque venimos varias horas a la semana y queremos estar más tiempo. Recibimos de las autoridades ambientales un diploma muy importante porque para ellos somos verdaderos investigadores de humedales. De Danapure me gusta la profe Estelita y todo lo que veo en él.
Para todos en el colegio fue una gran sorpresa la noticia de que el humedal Danapure ganó el premio Star Wetland, y eso nos hizo pensar de que estamos trabajando bien para conservar este paraíso.
En el humedal Danapure de nuestro colegio hemos estado observando diferentes especies como el oso perezoso, el mono aullador, los guatines y cangrejos. Más adelante esperamos tener un mejor inventario de animales.
Formar parte de los humedales estelares ha sido gran entusiasmo para nosotros, debido a que hablamos de proyectos de gran importancia como humedales marinos, incursionando el tema de los océanos. También hablamos de proyectos como Salvando Ranas, que fueron unas ranas que encontramos, salvamos y las liberamos en el humedal, de las cuales todavía seguimos. Otro proyecto de gran importancia para nosotros ha sido Mensajes ocultos en los líquenes. El objetivo de este proyecto ha sido intentar descifrar los códigos que nos deja la naturaleza en los líquenes. Poco a poco hemos estado trabajando para convertirlos en obras de arte.
El humedal va creciendo en sus alrededores. Ya tenemos un sendero que mide cerca de 1 kilómetro, en medio de bosques, guaduales y las 2 quebradas que rodean el colegio. Venimos vigilando algunos nidos de aves y hemos podido ver que ellas están siempre cuidando sus huevos. Esto nos avisa que han llegado nuevos pajaritos para llenar de vida el humedal. Hemos tenido muchas lluvias por 2 años y esto nunca había sucedido. Hemos visto que gran parte de las flores y con ellas las mariposas han desaparecido. Recuperaremos los jardines con las mariposas que son hermosas y nos hacen mucha falta. Son muchos los sueños que estamos cumpliendo gracias a la confianza que tenemos en Danapure, que es nuestro centro de investigación. Y seguramente será para ustedes un orgullo porque siempre estaremos construyendo proyectos interesantes.
Para el Liceo Taller San Miguel siempre ha sido motivo de orgullo tener un lugar como Danapure, un laboratorio vivo de investigación tan cerca a sus aulas de estudio. Un lugar que estuvo inutilizado y ahora lo convirtieron no solo en un centro de investigación, sino que lo disfrutan en diferentes actividades culturales, ambientales, y se ve reflejado en los diferentes proyectos que se han formulado, que ya muy pronto estaremos compartiendo con ustedes. Para nosotros la educación ambiental desde la primera infancia es tan importante como para poder comprobar que estudiantes que ayudaron en la recuperación del humedal, ahora como profesionales, formaron un grupo de investigación de egresados y son quienes nos envían parte de los proyectos y de las investigaciones que estamos desarrollando. Agradecemos la confianza, todo el amor y la paciencia que nos han tenido en la Red Mundial de los Humedales, porque gracias a ellos estamos en este momento contándoles nuestro orgullo y estamos haciendo que el compromiso sea cada día más grande.
Merci beaucoup, Luz. Quel formidable travail réalisé là-bas. Et merci à tous ceux qui nous regardent présentement. Si vous avez des questions, n'hésitez pas à utiliser le bouton questions-réponses dans la boîte de dialogue. Comme ça, nous essaierons de vous y répondre le plus tôt possible. J'ai une remarque de John qui dit que les sous-titres de la vidéo ne s'affichent plus. Moi, je les ai bien eus tout le long de la vidéo. Alors, je ne sais pas si c'est peut-être dû à votre connexion. Je vais demander à Connor. Connor, John asked us about the subtitles that disappear during the video. For me, it was okay, so I don't know what is the problem. Bon, sans plus tarder, nous allons passer dans un autre centre. Nous allons rencontrer Lisa Chou, ou Chou, bien connue du réseau WLI Asie-Océanie, qui va nous parler du centre à Guandu, à Taïwan.
Hello, my name is Lisa Chou from Guandu Nature Park. First off, I would like to say it's been a true honor for Guandu to be considered for the Star Wetland Center Award. Now is a 10-minute quick look at Guandu Nature Park. So Guandu is located in Taiwan, which is an important part of the East Australian Flyway, and Guandu has been recognized by BirdLife International as an important bird area, or IBA. So here's Taiwan, and Guandu is located in Taipei City, so it's in the northern part of Taiwan, and birds coming into Taiwan will hit the coastal regions, follow along the coastal areas, and some will head inland along the Danapure River, and they will come to the Guandu Plain. And Guandu Nature Park is located in the corner of the Guandu Plain. As you can see, the nearby surrounding area is heavily populated, and we're like the only green patch where birds can stay. So here's an aerial view of the surrounding area. We have mountains to our north and east corner, blocking the northeasterly winds. Guandu Plain is the largest stretch of rice paddy fields remaining in the Taipei region. Here's the park down here. The Guandu Nature Reserve is outside. We're really lucky because we are at the conjunction of two major tributaries, the Keelung River and the Danapure River. So bringing in nutrients from upstream as well as from the ocean. So bringing a lot of nutrients, enriching the biodiversity and the different habitats here. So here's a quick look at how Guandu came about. Guandu came about with a bunch of bird enthusiasts who love birds and who cared about birds, who eventually formed the Wild Bird Society of Taipei, which is a non-profit organization aimed at promoting the protection of wild birds and their habitats. It began in 1973, and we're celebrating 50 years this year. So we operate under the motto, today birds, tomorrow people, as they're good indicators for the environment. So Guandu came about in the 1970s and 80s when birders in northern Taipei began to notice a huge decline of birds in the area. And birders during those periods would always come to Guandu on the weekends to do a lot of birding. And so they began to lobby for the formation of a protected area. And about 2 decades later, they were able to convince the government to purchase 57 hectares for the land for the park. And in 2001, when the park opened, the Wild Bird Society of Taipei, or WBST, received management rights to the park, and we've been managing the park for over 20 years now. So we operate under the 4 key main objectives: conservation, education, leisure, and research. So our conservation efforts into maintaining the wetland habitat and its inhabitants allow us to create a rich, diverse education program that target different audiences and provides a good leisure place for people to come enjoy nature. And this is all possible through a long-term monitoring, which feeds back into how we manage our environment. So first off, I would like to talk a little bit about our research management and habitat management. So we have 4 management areas within Guandu Nature Park. The main visitor area is around 7 hectares. It's where visitors can go when they come into the park. It has the highest level of disturbance. The sustainable management area off to the side is around 11 hectares. It's a restricted area, so visitors can only enter if they're in a group activity or if they're going down there for a specialized program. And the remaining area is our core reserve area, where we reserve the largest stretch of habitat for our wildlife. And the only people that can go down there are our staff, our volunteers who are helping with the monitoring, and some of the workers for our habitat construction work. So we've been monitoring the area within Guandu ever since 1998. We do it 18 times a year, recording species numbers and habitats they occur in. And here's the results. As you can see, when the park opened in 2001, the numbers were low for the birds. And as we started recreating our water bodies and doing a lot of habitat work, the bird numbers increased dramatically. However, when we stopped, since we only have 57 hectares that we can work with, and there's only so much we can do, the bird numbers began to decline again. So in 2016, we began to combine some of our smaller water bodies into larger ones, and you can see an increase in the bird numbers again. And also in that same year, we started reintroducing brackish water into our wetland. So that has helped with our birds dramatically. So managing wetlands at Guandu, we've been continuously discussing how we can do it better. If you think about succession in a wetland, it goes from open water, slowly build up of plants and organic matter and sedimentation. Slowly, it will reach a later stage, becoming a grassland or even a forested area. But what we want is to keep it in the early stages. So one of the ways we've been exploring how to do this is using a tractor in the same manner how we would manage a rice paddy field. So keeping the wetlands in the early stages of aquatic succession will keep it in a healthy and a biodiverse environment. So as I mentioned earlier, we do a lot of various projects in terms of habitat management. And one of them is the introduction of our water buffaloes. We have 6 now. They help us eat aquatic vegetation, they wallow in the mud, helping us maintain good waterways. And the other project, which started in 2016, is the brackish water reintroduction project. So we've been monitoring our benthic population and seeing that there's a huge decline in the benthic population over the years because of our habitat work and the fact that our water is largely fresh water. So by opening up the sluice gates and letting brackish water come in, we were able to see an increase in our benthic population, which then led to an increase in our bird population. So other than that, we also do a lot of habitat creation through creation of these floating platforms for birds to use so they can rest on their black-winged stilts will nest on these sites as well. So our environment is very diverse, so is our wildlife. And because of that, we can create a diverse education program based on it. So we have a really strong outdoor education program, which is available for elementary, middle school to high school groups. We also have programs that fit with the Taiwan government requirements for environmental education certification. We also produce a lot of educational materials. And for example, with the help of Wealthy Asia Fund last year, we were able to create this preschool programming for preschool groups that come into the park. So in terms of programs, we do a lot of outdoor education, looking at aquatic insects, going down to the wetland. We also have a project program. We invite guests to perform talks. Some of our new programs that we started this year, the beetle investigation team, because we have a lot of staghorn beetles in the park. So we want to allow visitors coming in to learn about different insect survey techniques. So pitfall traps using nets, and we also incorporated paper origami into the program. Our summer camp, we focus on different topics each year. Our education team is really good at coming up with new programming every year. This year, they did a program with a focus on invasive species. So participants were able to go down and remove this invasive plant species and take the material back into the classrooms and use it to make a dye with it, a botanical dye. So that was a lot of fun. We also have a very good program, planting rice, experiencing the seasons. Come in, plant the rice in the spring, do some weeding in the summer, and then harvest in the fall. And then in the winter, they learn about the different products you can make with rice. And this is rice art that they made in the past. We also do programs outside of the park. For example, taking people to see Guandu Temple, which is nearby, to the mangroves outside. We go on bike rides. We even go up to the nearby mountains to learn about environmentally friendly farming practices. Our huge, we have two huge events normally happening at the end of the year. One is called the Guandu International Nature Art Festival. It began in 2006, and every year we focus on a different theme. This year, our theme was Nature a Gift. For more information, you can go on our website. This is one of our artists with her artwork. So we invite artists from all over the world to focus on the theme and build an art piece based on natural materials. The other is the Taipei International Birdwatching Fair, and this year's theme is Endemic Birds of Formosa or Taiwan. It'll be held in October. As we will be celebrating 50 years, the celebration will be bigger, and we'll be inviting some of our friends from the Wally Asia Oceania Network. So Guandu is really important because we make wetlands available for the public. And this is our main visitor area where most of our activities occur. Our nature center is structured in the middle. We have bird hides throughout and boardwalks and walkways. So Guandu is really accessible. We're 40 minutes from the main city. Once you get to Guandu MRT station, you can either take a bus, walk, or ride the U-bike, which is a ride-share bike system, and you can just get to the park relatively quickly. We now have automated ticket booths to our entrance and for our parking, so it makes things a lot easier to get in. Our outdoor signs and displays have both Mandarin and English. Now we even have a QR code for sign language interpretation, and there's a link to our audio guide as well. So as I mentioned, our audio guide information is available in Mandarin, English, and Japanese. Same with our pamphlets that are available. Our facilities in the main visitor area are largely accessible by strollers and wheelchairs. So you can see ramps outside our bird hides, along our walkways. Our nature center has gone under a major renovation as we've been using it for over 20 years now. So it focuses on, there's 2 floors. On the first floor, there's a My Nature, observing the wonders of nature, and my personal favorite is a little section on shorebird biomorphology and how that impacts what they eat. And there's a section on protecting the future. On the second floor, overlooking the wetland, you have spotting scopes, and there's now a CCTV so you can get a closer look at the wetland. Our nature center offers a lot of various services. There's free Wi-Fi, there's a breastfeeding room, water dispensers, you can borrow wheelchairs and strollers. Our washroom is accessible and gender neutral. There's also Muslim-friendly facilities. We also have a gift shop and a cafe. So all of this that we do at Guandu can't be done without our volunteers. They help us with our various tours. They help tell stories to children. They help us maintain the wetlands, help do monitoring, and lead a lot of our programming. So we can't do all the work within Guandu without our dedicated volunteers. And we also have a lot of help from our corporate sponsors and our students. They come in and also help maintain the wetland, and sponsorships fosters awareness and then understanding and sustainability. And on that note, thank you for your time. And if you would like to learn more about Guandu Nature Park, you can follow us on Facebook and our website. Thank you again.
Merci Lisa, quel superbe centre, vraiment inspirant toutes ces actions de restauration des zones humides. Nous allons maintenant passer dans un autre centre, au centre des États-Unis, justement, sur une zone humide immense, essentielle aux limicoles. Nous partons au Kansas.
Make Kansas Wetlands Education Center part of every trip to Cheyenne Bottoms. Wetlands are unique in Kansas, and Cheyenne Bottoms, a 41,000-acre wetland, is the largest marsh on the interior of the United States, designated internationally important for migrating shorebirds and waterfowl. Check out our exhibits explaining what wetlands are and why they are important, the animal and plant communities seen at Cheyenne Bottoms, and dioramas, and hands-on exhibits telling the Cheyenne Bottoms story. The Coke Wetlands exhibit has interactive exhibits, including an augmented reality watershed sandbox, one-of-a-kind wetland floor projections game, kids activity area, and a bird watching and build a bird station. The center offers a variety of public programs, everything from bird watching workshops to stargazing events and nature craft workshops to drop-in STEM activities. Shop the Wetlands gift store with a variety of nature-themed items, field guides, and bird feeders, Kansas-made items, and children's toys. Make Kansas Wetlands Education Center part of every trip to Cheyenne Bottoms.
Welcome to the Kansas Wetlands Education Center. We are so excited that we were awarded the Star Wetlands Center Award this last year. We just think that it's such an honor to be recognized with so many other wetland centers across the world. We want to show you guys a little bit about what our center is and why it's unique. So let's go check it out. The Coke Wetlands Exhibit Hall is one of the features of the Kansas Wetlands Education Center. Our exhibits here kind of tell the story about what this area is. In all, the exhibits kind of do three functions. They explain what wetlands are and why they're important. They talk about the animals and plants that can be found in this area. And then they tell the Cheyenne Bottoms story through various exhibits and displays. We're sitting here at Cheyenne Bottoms, which is where the Kansas Wetlands Center is located. It's in the heart of Kansas, right in the center of Kansas, and it's considered to be the largest marsh on the interior of the United States. And so we have a lot to talk about why this place is so unique. Several exhibits like this show its importance to the central flyway. All the birds that stop here along their migration path, and the Cheyenne Bottoms provides them a stopover during that migration. We can talk about how the birds move through the area and when they are stopping here, and about why this is an important flyway and a byway, bringing both humans and animals together. One of the most popular exhibits that we have is our watershed augmented reality sandbox. The idea of this exhibit is to show where the water comes from for Cheyenne Bottoms. For the most part, the wetland is supplied by natural runoff from various watersheds in the area. This exhibit shows how people can make their own watershed using the sand as well as the software to give us a topography of the sand in the box, and then it allows you to show water running off down into the low spots. And that is basically how the hydrology works here at Cheyenne Bottoms, of creating these upper areas and the lower areas and having water run down and collecting in the lower parts. So the 41,000 acre basin is basically supplied by a giant watershed, and this is a great way of illustrating that to our visitors. One of the main things that our exhibits try to do is to talk about the plant and animal communities that make Cheyenne Bottoms home. We have several exhibits that illustrate that very well. We have one that talks about the shorebirds, since that's such a huge component of the wetlands here. We try to have people learn a little bit about the feeding zones that the wetlands provide for the shorebirds based on their height and where they feed in the different zones of the wetland. We also have a Build-A-Bird station. Since birds are such a huge component of the wildlife that's here, people can take birds and bird bodies and heads and legs, and they can make either correct birds, or they can make up their own birds based on different adaptations that those birds might have using these different legs and bodies and heads. So kind of a fun way of showing the diversity of birds that stop here at Cheyenne Bottoms. So similarly, we can do something similar with plants here as well at Cheyenne Bottoms. There's some interesting plant communities that are very important to the habitat and wildlife of Cheyenne Bottoms. And so using these various plants that we've chosen that are here at Cheyenne Bottoms, they can put them in the zone of the wetland where they live as well. So cattails, an emergent plant that's important here. And just like with the birds, we have a Build-A-Plant station as well, where people can choose leaves, roots, and stems and put them together to build various types of plants that live here at Cheyenne Bottoms. Well, continuing on with our animals that live here at Cheyenne Bottoms, we like to tell the story of the smallest animals that make Cheyenne Bottoms home. And that's our aquatic invertebrates. They're such an important part of the food chain here, and what allows so many other animals to thrive here at Cheyenne Bottoms too. Some of the best programs that we do are talking about these aquatic invertebrates because so many people don't know about them, and they've never seen them because of where they live. And so we like to illustrate them, show a little bit about the unique forms of different invertebrates that live at Cheyenne Bottoms and what that means for the health of the wetlands here. We can also talk about the larger animals that inhabit Cheyenne Bottoms. And so we have panels talking about the mammals, reptiles, turtles, and amphibians that call Cheyenne Bottoms home. And along with those, there's little viewing panels that go through and show the different animals that live here at Cheyenne Bottoms and give some interesting facts about them. Along with this, we have a nice interactive frog call box where visitors can press buttons and listen to some of the frog choruses that go on here at Cheyenne Bottoms. We found out a long time ago that having live animals is such an important tool that we can use in our educational programs. And so our classroom is full of about 25 to 30 different species of live animals, pretty much all that can be found right around this area. And we use most of these for our programming, and people tend to really like critters in general. And so being able to see the live animals in person is a great way of teaching about these incredible animals that are here at Cheyenne Bottoms.
The mission of the Kansas Wetlands Education Center is to educate the public about wetland communities, their importance, and the need for conservation and restoration with emphasis on Cheyenne Bottoms and Quivira National Wildlife Refuge. KWEC welcomes 8,000 drop-in visitors each year to enjoy our exhibits, classroom animals, and 16-minute video about Cheyenne Bottoms. Our educators provide programming for over 15,000 contacts each year through 700 educational programs. One of our largest initiatives is the opportunity to share about Cheyenne Bottoms with all of the second grade students in our county each fall. Students rotate through stations on the water cycle, Night Creatures of Cheyenne Bottoms, a nature hike, and more. Likewise, our most popular program each year is a butterfly festival. As the monarch butterfly migrates south to Mexico in the fall, it can be found nectaring or roosting at the center. Annually, hundreds of visitors visit the center, use nets to capture the monarchs, and place tags on their wings that help scientists monitor the populations, habitats, and conditions the butterflies may encounter on their journey. Other popular programs utilize our classroom ambassador animals, allow students to wear waders and get into the marsh in search of aquatic invertebrates they identify, and dissect owl pellets. We travel to classrooms and organizations within 70 miles of our center, offering programs at no charge, or groups can travel to our center for field trips. Camps for a variety of age groups are popular each summer. Nature crafts are offered often. We plan a variety of public programs around events like Earth Day, the Perseid meteor shower, and love to provide hands-on opportunities for families. Check out our website at wetlandcenter.fhsu.edu to learn more about our programs, watch online presentations, and take a virtual tour of Cheyenne Bottoms. The tour includes drone footage, 360-degree videos, interviews with key stakeholders, interactive games, and allows you to feel as though you are in our wetland. Another project we encourage people to check out is a 32-page fully illustrated children's story about a migrating American avocet, the bird on the logo for the Kansas Wetlands Education Center. It is beautifully illustrated and tells the story of shorebirds, importance of wetlands, and highlights Cheyenne Bottoms. We hope you enjoyed learning about our Star Wetland Center.
Merci Mandy et Curtis, vraiment très intéressant encore. Un autre beau projet des lauréats qui méritent bien leur jolie plaque. On va passer maintenant à un dernier centre qui a gagné un prix, une Star Award cette année. Un centre européen cette fois-ci qui est à 1500 km au nord de chez moi, au nord de la France. Donc c'est parti pour le centre de Vattenriket.
A short overview of our visitor center in the south of Sweden. It's called Naturum Vattenriket, and it's a place in close to the city of Kristianstad, as I said, in the south of Sweden. And we are a very proud star wetland center, and I've been working with this ever since I was educated at the Stockholm University. I started off my work in 1989, building up the wetland, the work with the wetlands together with people that are no longer working now. And since 2010, the center has been in action. And we will actually start this presentation with a view from above. I hope you can see the film now, with the wetland center in the middle of the wetlands along the Helgeå River, close to the city of Kristianstad. And as you see, the water level changes during the season, from the low level with the green grass in the summer to the high water level in the winter. And as I said, our work started off very early, and the visitor center came in quite late, only more than 10 years ago. But we started in 1989 to work with the wetland area, the Ramsar site, and the catchment area. We started off because the wetlands were under threat, and we wanted to change people's attitudes regarding the water and the wetlands. So we started off building visitor sites where people could actually explore the area with dry feet. The area is very, very rich in biodiversity. Actually one of the most rich areas in Sweden. Due to that, we have so many different habitats there. And we have the city, and everything is so well connected. Anyway, we started off by building this visitor site, and eventually in 2005, we were able to create a biosphere reserve, which is a UNESCO designation, where the biosphere reserves on the planet, we're about 700. We all work with the goal to conserve landscape, nature, species, but to work together with people in the area, and also to have a strong logistic support with people. And that's why we eventually, finally, were able to build the wetland center that we have been waiting for so many years. We had wanted to build a wetland center ever since 1989, but eventually in 2010, the Naturum Visitor Center was put in place in the middle of the wetlands, in the heart of the wetlands, but also very close to the city. Now we have about 100,000 visitors every year to this beautiful place. It's free of entrance, no entrance fee, and people from the close area, but also many visiting tourists from other countries. I am the manager of the place, and I have 6 staff, 4 guides, and 2 people working with technology and administration. And I wanted to tell you some lessons we have learned during all these years. And I want to start with the change in attitudes that we find so very important, because when we started off in 1989, people did not regard the wetlands or the water as something useful for the area. On the other hand, it was a curse. So people even put the city dump in the middle of the wetlands, very close to the visitor center in the 1960s. So we started off trying to change the attitudes, and actually the Swedish name of our visitor center and the biosphere reserve is Vattenriket, and that means in Swedish rich in water, and also it means a water kingdom. So by this word, which is now very well known, we started to show that it's not thick of water, it's not waterlogged, it's rich in water. So from this curse with a city dump and people not regarding it as anything valuable, we now have the visitor center, we have 100,000 visitors, and people come to explore the wetlands. So we think we have actually been able to change the attitudes. And we use these tools to work with other landscape types. We don't always work with wetlands, we work with the sandy, dry grasslands, and we can use the same tools. Another lesson that we want to spread is to, when you communicate, we think the most powerful message for the public is the love message based on wonder and joy. If you use negative messages too often, we think that the communication will fall on deaf ears. And that is why we always try to focus on the love perspective. And that means we try to take children and adults, everyone out in the nature, to give them first-hand experiences and create strong links between our visitors and the nature. Because we believe that people that go outdoors and enjoy nature as a child, they tend to be more environmentally responsive as adults. People will protect nature not because they have to, but because they want to. So that is for us a strong guideline in everything we do, the love perspective. And of course, that means we try very hard to focus on the young. We meet so many school children every year. We meet teachers, we meet children from preschool up to university. But we also host a biosphere camp in the summer, because we are a biosphere reserve. We have this biosphere camp where the children on the picture enjoy nature, meet people who benefit from nature, artists, people working with agriculture, painters, musicians, as well as they experience nature. So for us, the focus on the young is very, very strong. But not only the young, we try to focus on we want everyone to be able to enjoy the wetlands and the visitor site. And that is why we, when we can, try to build boardwalks, as this one on the picture, which is just outside the visitor center. Boardwalks that are good for people with buggies or people in a wheelchair, and also make people stay on the path, so you can look at the valuable areas without damaging them. But also we try to make accessibility better by doing lots of audio guides where you can scan a QR code out in the landscape and hear us tell about nature, culture, fun things about the place you visit. Also, of course, the web page is important in this, and also the displays we have in the outdoor museums to keep texts simple, to use simple words. And actually, one person in our staff is a journalist, and that is to make texts much more easy to read for people. So the activities we host at Naturum Visitor Center have a very wide range. And that is actually connected with how we want to change the attitudes. Because we think by offering a wide range of activities, we also connect to a wide range of people. I think that it is, you need different keys, so to speak, to the lock of every heart. For some people, it is joining us one late night on a bat safari to see the bat hunting outside Naturum. But for other people, it is listening to the water music played by our local symphony orchestra on the National Day. So we try to combine activities including literature, music, poetry, as well as traditional field activities. And we hope there is something for everyone at our visitor center. As with the activities, I think it is important to also have a very broad communication and to understand that some people want to read things on a web page or on social media. Others still want a map in their hand or a folder or brochure. So we try to also have a very broad communication. And if you want to know more about our area, I encourage you to follow us on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn. For us as a biosphere reserve, the local involvement is one key factor for us to work with, and we try that in different ways. One very successful example is that we educate ambassadors for the biosphere every year, and we now have more than 300, and these are normal people, so to speak. They could be hairdressers, or they could be teachers, or they grow carrots, and they just want to come and learn more about the biosphere. And the only thing we ask them to do is to spread the message. And also in the springtime, we have bird guides, or actually crane guides, because that is when the big bird, the European crane, come to our wetlands to feed and dance. And so many people come and to see these beautiful birds. And on the picture, you can see one of the crane guides guiding a group of Ukraine migrants that came to us the early spring in 2022, of course. And we, as soon as we could, transported them with a bus to the cranes to make them experience these beautiful birds, to think of something else for an hour or two. So we have the ambassadors, we have the crane guides, and we also have the friends of Vattenriket that support us. Last but not least, the economy. And I think this is quite important to show also that even if we don't have any entrance fee to our visitor center Naturum, several studies have shown that we make a great impact to the local economy. And that is because all the people that come to our area, because of the visitor center and because of the work we do in the biosphere reserve and with the visitor sites. So actually researchers have shown several times that the spending of the visitors, that without Naturum and the work with the biosphere, they would not have come to the area. Their spending is 3.2 million euros every year. And that is about 3 times the cost, the total cost for the visitor center and all the work we do in the biosphere. So that is quite an impact, and shows that nature tourism is very important, that the work we all do at our visitor centers is so important, not only for the changing of attitudes, but also for making people come to the area. So with that, I will conclude my presentation by saying that our goal is to make people love the Vattenriket area and do things that benefit both people and nature. And I so much want to have visits from those of you who pass Scandinavia. Please just give me a call or send me an email, and I would be so happy to meet you at our visitor center. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup, Karin. J'aimerais bien venir visiter votre centre. Nous ne sommes pas si loin en tant que voisins européens. Et également, je vous rejoins complètement sur le discours positif pour encourager à passer à l'action, notamment via le canal des émotions. On explore beaucoup cette face-là ici à la Maison du Lac de Grandlieu et également via le prisme de la culture par la musique, par l'art et c'est quelque chose qui marche beaucoup. Donc je voudrais, vraiment, vous remercier. Nous arrivons à la fin de ce webinaire. Donc pour les, personnes qui assistent à ce webinaire en ligne, je vous invite à poser vos questions dans la boîte à questions, dans le chat, Q&R, questions-réponses. Et avant de lire vos questions, je voudrais juste refaire un petit point, sur la prochaine édition de remise des prix, du Wetland Center Star Award. Donc oui, il y aura une prochaine édition. Les membres du jury, vont se réunir, d'ici quelques semaines avec, quelques lauréats, du prix, de l'année dernière pour affiner le processus de sélection et aussi ouvrir, les candidatures en 2024. Donc j'espère que vous avez été, intéressés, que ça vous aura motivé tous ces exemples pour présenter vos actions, hein. Il n'est pas nécessaire d'avoir un centre physique de visite pour participer, je tiens à le rappeler. Toutes les actions en faveur de la protection des milieux humides sont encouragées et à encourager. Il faut savoir que l'objectif sera, de faire une remise de prix de ce Wetland Center Star Award en 2025 lors de la prochaine COP, sur les zones humides qui se tiendra au Zimbabwe. Donc, n'hésitez pas à participer. Si tout ça vous a inspiré et vous a donné des idées, nous serons heureux, de pouvoir vous soutenir dans vos candidatures. Sur ce, avant de conclure, ce webinaire, on va voir s'il y a quelques questions, pour répondre à ces questions. Donc je vous laisse quelques secondes si vous avez des questions, à écrire dans la boîte, Q&R, questions et réponses, pour nous, avant de conclure ce webinaire. Pas de questions? Eh bien, peut-être ah si, je vois une question. Alors, de John Tolly, qui: «J'aimerais savoir comment entrer en contact avec les lauréats et comment souscrire à la conférence du Zimbabwe?» Alors, vous avez les coordonnées de tous les lauréats sur le site du WLI. N'hésitez pas à vous rendre, vous y rendre. Vous avez aussi, lorsque vous avez reçu le mail du WLI, un lien vers, les lauréats que nous avons présentés aujourd'hui, lors de ce webinaire francophone. Et puis, pour, souscrire à la conférence du Zimbabwe, n'hésitez pas à envoyer vos questions à Chris Ruston et à Connor Walsh également pour vous en savoir plus. Est-ce qu'il y a d'autres questions? Ah, Connor, peut-être tu veux intervenir? Tu veux préciser des choses?
Oui, mais
Want to precise something?
avec
English and
le
I make the
français
translation.
horrible. Oui, le convention à Zimbabwe en 2025, c'est déjà sur la planification. Ce n'est pas sûr, mais nous connaissons déjà la date, c'est le 23 juillet, entre le 23 et 30 juillet 2025. Les organisations dedans, c'est le secrétariat de la convention de Ramsar et aussi le pays même du Zimbabwe. Et Marceline a aussi demandé comment candidater au prix. Il sera une forme sur notre site web, mais l'équipe va le discuter comment la faire exactement. Donc, si vous s'inscrivez à notre email, nous vous
enverrons.
OK.
Oui, n'hésitez pas à vous inscrire sur la liste de diffusion ou d'envoyer un mail à Connor et comme ça, vous recevrez toutes les informations par mail et vous aurez une notification quand les inscriptions seront ouvertes.
Merci, Audrey, c'est beaucoup plus clair.
It's normal. It's the same thing for me in English, so.
Pas du tout.
Donc, est-ce que vous avez d'autres questions avant de nous quitter? Je vois déjà que certains partent. Oui, merci pour l'effort, Connor, de parler français. Déjà, c'est super.
Ah,
Hein. Franchement, c'est sympa que les Anglais parlent français. Oui, ça nous fait plaisir. Moi, je dois le dire.
sympa ou drôle?
En tout cas, si vous avez des questions, n'hésitez pas. Sinon, vous allez retrouver donc ce webinaire sur YouTube, sur la chaîne YouTube du WLI. Donc, n'hésitez pas à le transmettre à vos collègues. Et aussi, je voudrais encore remercier tous les lauréats qui ont fait de ces belles vidéos pour nous présenter leurs travaux et leurs centres, hein. Lisa, Mandy, Curtis, Luz et Karin. Et merci Connor, et merci à tous. Si vous n'avez pas d'autres questions, ce sera un au revoir.
C'est bien, c'est un au revoir.
Alors, je regarde, est-ce qu'il y a une autre question? Oui, comment candidater? Bon, c'était la dernière question. C'est bon, c'est un au revoir alors. À bientôt.
À bientôt.